Oh yeah,
In
fruit pops,
Jaja.
my bro. Oh, this place is nice. Oh,
That's my bro.
I'm just trying to figure out the inspiration behind the. I mean, this is a sweet tooth type of business.
Yeah.
It, is it an Enugu thing? I think Enugu is an abacha or what changed? Is there a target market for this type of product?
Well, I mean, this is ice cream. You understand? So
Okay, yes, it's
exactly.
ice cream.
So ice cream has been here. It's just that Enugu, we always think that something has to come in its normal form for us to
Okay.
accept it.
Mhm.
Maybe it would have been better if I was selling fan ice, or
I like
supreme.
fan eyes though.
Exactly. So, but I think I try to look at the same business you already know, but from a different angle.
Okay.
Yeah. So this fruit pops now is just ice cream coated in white chocolate. Exactly.
Ice cream coated in white
White
chocolate.
chocolate,
Oh,
exactly. So you're
wow.
still taking ice cream, only that some of the flavors are natural fruits. You understand? Some of our flavors are natural fruits. So it's
Oh,
the same
wow.
thing. Eh, just like now, I could have just been selling normal, fatty, creamy ice cream, but we're selling gelato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They're all frozen desserts, right?
Mm-hmm.
But gelato just has less calories and less fats than the normal ice cream. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? That's why it's probably more pricier than the normal
Ice cream.
ice cream, but it's the same thing. Yes, it's just the texture is different, the making process is different. More, it's different. Like it's harder to make than the
Oh,
other one.
wow.
Yeah, it fully goes through a lot of processes before it's done. So we're just selling normal ice cream. That's what we're selling. It's just that we're selling it in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
nothing unique. I mean, these things are already in Lagos and Abuja, other cities. But we find it very hard to try out things here because the fear of what people will say, if the business is going to move, if they have
Adoption.
the purchasing power and all of that. Yeah, does Enugu have the purchasing power? I think they do, regardless of the fact that there's.
You think?
I think now, why do I think? I think so because this Lagos and this Abuja we're always talking about. Why
Mm-hmm.
don't you carry the business to that place?
Mm-hmm.
What type of money is flowing there? It's still I don't know. I call it free money.
Free money.
Yeah, let me explain.
Okay.
Relax. Let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was telling my friend the other day that Michael the other day that Nigerian economy is just is built up of a lot of more unexplained money than explained money.
Okay.
You understand? So it's the unexplained money that cools the economy. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to Lagos, you go to a fruit pop shop in Lagos, you see maybe a girl and a guy, they are done taking this thing and their bill is like 80 to 90K.
Mm-hmm.
But check now, their salary, they're probably being paid 300K or 400K, which is a very big news son in Enugu. So
Mm-hmm.
even though they are being paid that high, normally by mathematics they're not supposed to be able to still afford to blow 60 to 70K on ice cream.
Okay.
Because I heard one, because there was this lady that was complaining that the salary range in Enugu ranges from 20K to like 100K max.
Mm-hmm.
How can they buy it? That other people in Lagos, Abuja, they're being paid 300 to 500,000. But I'm like, okay, even if you're being paid 500K, I don't think you should be able to afford to spend 50,000 on
You
ice cream.
because that's ten
That's
percent
ten
of,
percent of your
and it's all on ice cream
on ice
alone.
cream alone. We're not talking about other things. So I believe that what cools the economy is the unexplained
Sauces.
sources. So when you create businesses like this that are kind of expensive, like because a cup of this is like 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create businesses like this, you're looking out for people who spend the free money to come and buy. So you see
Oh,
some girls that come around, is either they're paying for themselves because maybe their boyfriend has dashed them the money or they got the money somewhere or the other. It mustn't be illegal. Because when I say free money, I'm not referring to illegal money. I'm referring to money that comes in through the air. When money is moving, especially in the system like politics or whatever,
mm-hmm.
their hands that these monies are going into.
Of course.
Exactly.
Liquidity flow.
Exactly. So there are hands that these monies are going into, and these monies are not being spent on any useful thing. If not, there will be no lands to buy, or there will be no cars to buy. They are going on food and beverage. And what is food and beverage? What we are already doing, what we're already selling. So the fancier these products get, the more they buy. You understand? So it doesn't matter if maybe Enugu, because there are more people when some of them make this money I call free money, they tend to leave Enugu. So that's why it looks as if all the businesses that do the same thing we do are sharing fewer customers.
Mm-hmm.
But the same money they're spending in Lagos or Abuja is the same money they're spending here. There's no difference. It's just that it's lesser here, but it's the same money. It's not tied to salary. Okay, let us even take up the salary to 1 million, which you know that if you take salary up to 1 million, you should know the type of jobs that you will be doing to even get up to 1 million naira. You can still afford to spend that money. So these businesses are you can't connect your earning to what you're spending buying ice cream or buying a nice perfume. Okay, look, what of these shops that sell
It,
perfumes for
it,
50 to 100K or
as
200?
you're saying all this, my
Yeah,
mind just there for that Abuja guy where they sell car, Saki Mota.
exactly. Saki Mota,
Not
yeah.
for civil servant.
Mhm.
And I think his statement is a metaphor for what you're trying to explain.
Of course, of course. See, okay, let's use this guy for example now. This is someone whose business has thrived, not by not people that are doing normal business or people that are earning money. In fact, I'm telling you now that it's not if how much is the highest government worker pay itself? Do you know that? Do you have an answer to that?
Professors in the East earn below $400
Exactly.
a month.
Exactly. And that is less than 600,000.
Yes.
Exactly. So if
They earn far below that.
do you understand? So if they're earning that, it means that someone who is even earning 1 million or 2 million naira cannot buy any of the cars that Cycling Motor posts on his
I agree.
TikTok.
I
You
agree.
understand? So we just that we don't like to tell ourselves the truth. There is no business that is thriving in Nigeria that survives on the salaries that people get.
On the minimum wage.
On the minimum wage, not just the minimum wage, even the maximum. Apart from those that are maybe
Even
in
the
Port Harcourt,
maximum, my
even the
bro.
maximum. So that's what I'm saying. So we know this, but we just don't like to tell ourselves the truth.
Because by maximum wage, even a minister should not be able to afford a 200 million naira house.
Exactly. Exactly.
By
So
the highest earners in Nigerian government are not supposed to.
let's even say you're being paid 5 million naira a month. Let us talk about that's 60 million naira a year. Won't you eat? Won't you transport yourself? Won't you do all of those
You
things?
have 60 million naira problem.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you're buying and your son is telling you to come and buy a car of 65 million or 80 million naira. How do you want to buy it? And it's 80 million naira this year. Let's say you save 40 million naira from the first year, and let us say you only managed to spend 20 million naira from your 60 million. By the second year, when your 80 million is complete, that car is no longer 80 million naira. So let's stop deceiving ourselves. The economy thrives on free money, the monies that come from any place. Like you see a young girl, oh, she's beautiful. Some random guy who is maybe a tech bro collecting some heavy dollars outside the country, or maybe he's doing one or two tasks to earn money that is not unexplained money, or into sports betting and all of that. The guy is dashing her 500,000 to 1 million on just being a beautiful girl. These are the people that businesses like this and
Are
dependent on, or guys that I mean, we hear of guys that use 1,000 naira and win like 10 million or 20 million naira in sporty bet.
Mm-hmm.
The way they win that money is how they want to spend it. That's also how, of course, the business I was also involved in, which I think I'm still involved in, the nightlife is thriving. People who come and blow money that they ordinarily wouldn't blow, and that's how these guys make their money. But not on. There's no salary earner that can afford to be in any of these spaces where things are sold for more than 10,000 naira.
I agree.
So it's the truth.
I agree.
You understand? So when you say, how do we do it? We hope for this type of people to keep coming. Like I was sitting over there. I saw this babe that came around. She bought 4 cups of fruit pops. So this was like 60K. I think she even came here with a car. She left after like an hour. She came back and bought 4 more. This girl blew 120K. I don't know if she's the one that consumed the whole thing or not. If she was going to give some to her friends. But looking at this babe, you can tell that this is not a worker. This person is not working anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
This person did not earn this
She's not
money.
a mechanic.
She's
She's
not a
a baller.
mechanic. She's a baller. And if you trace her source of income, you trace it to free money. In fact, most likely, in fact, there are people that earn 500,000. That money is just, let it be that they are earning that money. They don't earn that money as that's what they are depending on. That money can go that day it's coming. You understand? So that is what these businesses are about, and that is why I've made it my, should I call it my life's this thing goal to pursue those type of businesses. But I will just come from the unique point, like from the, should I say, the different points.
Mm-hmm.
How instead of just selling your fan ice or Supreme, I'll sell the same ice cream but in a different way. Just like, I mean, it's not today people started selling Nescafe and tea on the road. You see these
Mm-hmm.
guys that carry hawk the Nescafe and
Of
milk
course,
tea.
I patronize them a lot.
Exactly. So it's not today it started, but we're like, okay, instead of doing that same thing, why don't I just sell milk tea but with boba pearls? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? Because that way it's more fun to
I I, I,
take it.
I really like the boba pearls. Did I went
Yeah,
to your place at Roban?
yeah,
I asked for extra boba pearls,
yes,
and then that was how I got to know that the name is boba pearls because
yes,
I asked her, What's the name of this thing?"
yes.
She said
Boba
boba
pearls, yeah.
pearls. So yeah, I really liked it.
So yeah, so we had to use the boba pearls to even name the brand. So Mr. Boba. So the boba is the main thing. Because if you remove the boba pearls from it,
What's boba?
boba is tapioca. That's what you're actually taking. Is
Tapioca
tapioca,
is not
yes.
cassava.
Yes, it's made from cassava stem.
Oh, from the
Yes.
stem.
Yes. The fact from the root to the stem is a whole process. You
Hmm.
understand? It's a whole process. So we cook it. After it's made, we cook it to a certain point so it can give you that chewy feeling that you're getting.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Yeah.
I mean the boba pearl, yeah.
Yes, the boba pearls itself. Remove the boba pearls from the milk tea, it's just milk tea. Yes, it's good as you're taking tea with Lipton.
The boba pearl is like a rubberish caviar.
You can say that, yeah.
And now that you said it's made of tapioca, I'm now understanding the texture properly and why the texture is like that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's super cool.
Yeah. So
Why do you prefer the sweet tooth line of food business? Because is this something you like? Because I mean, when it comes to food business, somehow people always align with something they like. Because I have this friend, he likes shawarma so
okay.
much, and he used to be in the shawarma business. So one day I told him, "Why do you like shawarma this much?" He said, "That's why he used to sell it."
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're right because let me tell you the story about how I decided to go into the business of selling boba tea.
Please tell me.
So 2 years ago, that was 2024,
Mm-hmm.
when I was mostly in Abuja. So a friend of mine brought the tea to me. He brought it to me to taste. I tasted it. It tasted so nice. I was even wondering what it was. Then the boba pearls itself was the most interesting part of taking that tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up the place and I went to that place, bought another one, and I kept on taking it almost every other day
Mm-hmm.
while I was there. So then I had to come back later on towards the ending of 2024 to Enugu. So I was here for like a month and I noticed that my whole body was just scratching me. Yes, I was craving it. Do you know that I had to book a flight to go back
Ooh,
to Abuja? And I spent 4 days just to take the
boba.
boba tea.
Ooh.
I'm telling you. And I came back. I was like, why don't you have it here in Enugu? So I started asking questions. Some people I asked. In fact, there's a boba tea shop in Abuja that is owned by some people who have lived here in Enugu. Yes, I think they own about 2 or 3 boba shops in Abuja. So I was wondering, like, why haven't they come here? So some people they were like, who's going to buy a cup of boba tea for 8 to 9,000 naira in Enugu? I was
Same
like,
question everybody's asking.
exactly the same question. I was like, well, I will buy. So I did my research. So I went to China later on that year, did trade, learned how to make it, bought some machines from there. Then, of course, we also outsourced some here in Nigeria. And I came back and we set it up. And first of all, because I didn't want to spend so much money, the first shop I set it up at the mini mart of my family's station. That was where I started it. Then, surprisingly, just blew up. So then we had to, and the location was at Abani Road, so it was like away from where the target audience
Mm-hmm.
were. So they were coming all the way from town to Abani Road to buy it. So we moved to Roban and Bisala Road. That was where we opened the second one, and then it started moving. So the in fact, there's some people that told me that this was the reason why they did not even want to attend the business. We were even surprised. And now, of course, subsequently, we opened another one at Tinker's Corner, and we are looking towards opening more because the idea has worked. In fact, I think even making it a pickup station was even better off for us. Even though we in the future we would probably consider having a walk-in, but I think the best part of opening the station, it as a station, was that we were able to do something very small, but make the most out of it.
Oh
You
yeah.
understand? Make it small, but make the most out of it. Save cost, make the most out of it.
So you can always meet up with your demand with your demand.
Expenses and all that, demand and expense, which is the most important aspect of running this type of business. So that was why, because I loved the boba tea, I was always taking it in Abuja. I had to do the same thing
So
anyway.
we are like, oh, if I like this thing,
Yes,
there should be
exactly.
someone else.
Exactly. And I met those people. There were a lot of them, even the ones that live in Abuja that also come to Enugu. So it was also consuming. But now, see, the irony of life was that when I started it, I wasn't taking it as much again.
What now changed?
Well, I think what changed was that because it was now my business, I couldn't
Get high on your own supply.
exactly. I couldn't get high on my own supply, but not because I disciplined myself, but naturally I couldn't. So, but whenever I go back to Abuja or Lagos,
You buy it from
I
them.
buy from other people. Exactly. So, but then this boba tea business now gave me the idea to focus on businesses that are not yet here in Enugu.
Oh wow.
You understand? Focus on businesses that are not yet here in Enugu and follow businesses that are trending. Hop on the trend, make the best out of the trend,
Okay.
and either stay on the trend or
Exit.
from the trend. You understand? Fruit Pops, before we started, it was already a viral stuff all over the world. In fact, it had not even come to the almighty Lagos. The first shop that started selling it commercially is in Abuja. Then we started here in Enugu, and then others followed. People were doing it from their home. So I think this is the only fruit pop shop in Nigeria that is selling fruit pops as its main business.
Oh,
Because the other guys, the other people that are selling it in Abuja, they're into
Aside.
bakery. So fruit pops is
side.
a side. So if you go to our TikTok page, you see a lot of people are just insulting us. Some will say, money meets road. How do you spend this kind of money setting up just something that's going to trend out? You see a lot of people, but what made me happy looking at those comments was that I now understood the type of mentality people in Enugu have.
Okay.
You understand? So it's not just about money. It's not just about the fact that they don't have money. But that money that they don't have has also affected how they think.
The perception.
You understand the perception. You see some people say, "Oh, don't worry, very soon they'll add up to their menu." Some say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm waiting for when they'll bring apacha." Some say, "Oh, they're waiting for when the price will fall from 15K to 1K." I was just watching all these comments and I was smiling. But then you still see some people in the comment section telling them that they really don't understand how businesses work. In fact, one of the biggest brands in the FMCG industry are brands who invest into trendy businesses, make the most out of it, and exit without a loss. The fast moving consumer goods industry.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that make the biggest money in our line of business. The ones that find a product that is trending or even creates the trend themselves, cash out from it, and they exit. So even if in the future fruit pops isn't here to stay, it's an idea that is currently trending, and whether or not it's going to fade away or not, the person who is making the most out of the trend is me.
Sharp.
You understand? So
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter if it's trending, very soon to go, but who is the guy who is profiting from the trend? Is me. I'm the one who has taken the risk. You understand? So whatever happens to food pops later on, there is a guy who profited from it. Then I brought up things like Milky Donuts and all that. There are people that profited from it.
I agree.
They might have stepped out, but they have profited from it. But people are still selling, regardless. You can still see that some people are still selling
People are still
donuts,
selling
regardless. But the people who brought up the idea have really cashed out from the idea. So if you don't understand that that is how every other business is, then you're probably not ready to be an entrepreneur, or you're not even ready to understand how entrepreneurship works. It's not about the ones that can stay over time. Now, who even determines what stays over time? I mean, we've seen food restaurants that sell you abacha or the oba that have closed down over time. Maybe the person that had the signature taste is dead and now no one continues.
I agree.
Exactly. So most of the businesses that you think have stayed for so long, because the person who owned the business, the founder of that business is still very much active and alive, or has given birth to children that has been able to, continue from where their parents started. So everything is a trend if you look at it.
Everything is a trend.
Everything is a trend, only that some have lasted longer than others.
So capitalizing on trend is
where I'm looking at. Anyways, I'm focusing on that because I believe everything is a trend. I believe everything is a trend. It doesn't.
Do you think you have this mindset towards business? I mean, you know, when it comes to startups and businesses, there are two types of young people.
Okay.
These talkers and the doers.
Yeah.
And when you go out there from university, of course, you hear a lot of young people with ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, ideas, no, they
shake. Choke.
Ideas choke. But you see those people who will wake up
and execute.
Just begin go do them.
Yeah.
It takes either special grace of God, or special foundation.
Yeah.
Do you think your background is a part of why you could just wake up because you like what was it, bubble tea?
Yeah.
And then you flew to China to
do it.
Okay. Because that takes a lot of balls.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's still business.
Yes.
Possibility that it might not work still there.
Yeah, of course. It's a very big risk.
So it was a very big risk. In a small town like Enugu, for someone to take that type of risk on something entirely new, because I will tell you, maybe you have your own capital, but for a product like that, if you want to get investors in Enugu, you don't have your own capital, it might never going to happen because there is no existing numbers. I mean, who they sell them? How are we sure? So everything is still assumption. But then you took the bold step to go to China and take the bull by the horn, and they invest a lot of money, and then it's working. At what point in your life did you become this person that could make this type of move?
Judge, I like this question you asked, though. It's a very, very, very sound question. You know, there's something I always say, which, of course, we've heard so many times. When you're surviving, you can't dream. You understand? When you're surviving, you cannot dream. So, ideas, so many people have a lot of ideas, just like what you said. So every time you go into you're in a gathering with your guys and they're talking about this, they're talking about that. We can do this, we can do that. But at the end of the day, it ends at a beer talk. But nobody actually follows it up. Not because they don't know how to follow it up, but because, like what you say, the capital. Yes. And, I want to use something to answer this question you asked me now.
Okay.
How I just talked about what I saw on those comments, the comments on all our posts when we did the opening of this place. You see people saying negative things. I wasn't angry. I mean, someone said, "Oh my God, how would the owner of this business sleep and wake up and be reading these comments without feeling bad?" But I smiled because I can't feel bad for something that isn't their fault. Okay. So I felt more sorry for those negative comments than even angry or feeling sad for myself. Because what am I feeling sad for myself about? I took the risk and I calculated the risk. But they don't take any risks because they already believe it's not going to work. One. And two, because they are cash strapped, they don't have the capital to even fund the idea that they even have. They already rule it out as something that will not work. You understand?
Because their default setting of not having capital
has already played a major role.
So it's never going to work.
So when they say that poverty is a disease, or lack of funds a disease, we think it's an insult, but it's actually a disease. It actually affects your mind without even you knowing. You think that something that costs 100,000 naira or 200,000 is very expensive, but if you buy that thing, you find out that the way you feel after while you're using that thing is different from how you feel when you buy the cheap ones. I'm even talking about things like perfume, even the clothes you're
I
wearing or
agree.
your wristwatch.
I agree.
You understand? Let's tell ourselves the truth. If you buy the one that is expensive, most of the time
You feel expensive.
you feel expensive and you feel that there is a very big difference. So the fact that they don't have money to fund their idea already is problem one.
And the final
And it's almost the final problem because where do you want to start from? Now, you asked me a question. Okay, how I just got the idea and I just flew to China like that. Yeah, it may look like
I
rock.
mean, even beyond the money,
Yes.
I want to understand beyond the money.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
coming. I will, I
okay.
will, I will answer something. Yes, I will not begin to sound dramatic. I came from a comfortable home. So it gave me the opportunity to think beyond risk.
Okay.
You understand? Which is the reality of so many of these people
Be-
that come
be-
from rich homes.
because money is the security that backs up the risk. So
Exactly.
when there is no
Exactly.
money, you cannot take risk. In
When
fact,
there's no money,
even
you
when
cannot
you
take the
can
risk.
take risk,
Mhm.
maybe you have 500 million to
Yes.
use to go to China and get
Yes.
one or two things done. But if that thing goes wrong, you're dead, your family is dead.
Exactly.
So you need insurance, a type
Yes.
of backup.
Yes.
Maybe a rich family to fall
Yes.
on, maybe a rich friend, maybe property somewhere.
Yes.
So it is not just enough that you have enough resources to move. You need to
Yes.
have enough to back up possible downfall.
Yes. But that is what they think. This is the mindset. But have you ever thought of the fact that not doing anything is also a very big risk? It's even a bigger risk.
It is the biggest.
It's the biggest risk. But when we say this thing, it sounds like motivational speech.
Because there is also an outcome from not doing anything, and the outcome is always negative.
Exactly.
But if you are doing something, there are two possible outcomes:
Yes.
positive or negative.
Exactly.
But if you're not doing anything, there is the default outcome is negative.
Yes, exactly. No, you've said it all. You've said it all. In fact, with what you just said now, you've answered the whole question. So the fact that you don't understand that the risk of trying a business is not even a risk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's to me. Okay, let us use Dangote for example. Who he was saying that when he wanted to go into the project of doing this refinery, he was scared. He was not sure he was going to do it. Well, it's for you people. He's telling that before he started the journey, he knew that that money was not that money was investing was not so much of a risk because he was not the only one putting that money inside there. A whole lot of other people, even the country itself, had their stake.
Even the country,
the country
yes,
itself had their stake in
almost
business.
all the banks.
Do you understand? Had a stake in the business. So what is he scared of? This guy is no longer doing business to make money. He's not about state status. That is why he's doing this thing he's doing. It's not about money because he knows that there is no risk he's taking anymore. Where's the risk? So now imagine you and I that are mustard seeds to the type of business this guy is doing. You think that looking for 10 or 20 million naira or even 50 as the case may be to start up a small business, you think you're taking risk. Not doing anything at all is a big risk. That's why you will see someone you will sell this thing to the person for 15,000 naira and they tell you it's too much. Some people like, oh, for 7 things or 7 fruits inside here. But the other shop in Abuja that sells the same thing is giving you that same 7 for 25,000 and it's selling. But here in Enugu, we're giving you 7 for 15,000, but it's too much. So that's the problem.
I think it's about the average income
That's what I'm
per
saying.
city.
We keep saying that thing, but I'm telling you now that the fact that you don't get the free money means that you're not even supposed to be there in the first place. So don't put yourself under any pressure. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are things that when you don't have, as I said, when you're surviving, you cannot dream. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there are the people that even complain can even afford it. The ones that can't actually afford it have no reason complaining because you can't afford it. So what are you complaining about? Even if we brought it down to 5,000 naira. You still can't
You're
even
still
going to
not there.
afford it. So, like you see someone say, I think if you bring down the price a bit, like what they say, the boba tea, if you bring down the price a bit, it's going to help,
Let,
increase sales.
let's say the boba tea now is 5K. 5K is
150,000 a month.
is 150. So if they are paying you, if your salary is 150,000, no, it's still not doable.
But in the US, in the UK, and of course all over Asia, where this boba tea is more popular, it's literally a morning treat for workers. They come out in the morning, they pick up a cup of boba tea, and they go to shop. This is like, I think they're telling like 10 or to $12 over there. Do it in a month, that's about 300 and something dollars. These are people who earn about $3,000 to $6,000 a month. So they are just spending about 10 or 5% of their income on it. And how many times do they even take it? And how many people are taking it? There are so many people taking it that even if they come once or twice in a month, the business can survive.
Do you think you got to take this route because you are trying to survive difficult economy?
Wow, this is a very important question. Well, I won't say because I was trying to survive, but at the end of the day, when you create a business that is making you money, you find out that it was all part of it. You understand? It's not, you did not create the business to lose money. You created the business to, solve a problem, but at the same time benefit from it. Think about it. Most of these geniuses out there, they did not. Most of the businesses they started was out of interest. They just wanted to solve one problem. They did not even know it was going to make them money. Zuckerberg is number one. That was the first person I wanted to tell you. They didn't. This guy did not create this social network so that he would profit from it. He was enjoying himself, solving a problem within their school at the time, and then it's now all over the world. And now, but because he's now making money from it, he has now created wealth for himself from that idea, and he's now going into everything he did from that moment is business for him. So by buying all these other apps he bought, he was buying it because of the business. So that's the thing. So when you do something because you wanted to do it, because you just like me, I liked the thing. You now see that, oh, the plan can work.
So to sustain it, you now need a pure business model.
You now start looking at it from the business aspect.
Not now from
exactly.
fashion.
Because I mean, before this was not the only thing I was doing. The other things I was doing to do business. Because whether you think you came from a comfortable home or not, it's just what it is. But if you sit down and not doing anything, what that thing you think you have will just disappear. Where you're not wealthy. Because being born from a comfortable home doesn't mean you're wealthy. It just means that you came from comfort. Mm-hmm. There are things that comes easily to you that doesn't come easily for many other people. Mm-hmm. But there are still people that have more than what you can only dream of.
Of course.
You get only that they have so much that they probably don't even need to do anything. They don't even need to try out the business as I wanted to try it out. They just need to keep chilling. You understand? So, bro, in summary, the lack of funds, because more people have less money than the ones that do have money. So because those are the majority, you always see nonsense. You always see people that say negative about the business you want to do.
So you think poverty goes in tandem with pessimism?
Exactly. Everything. See, we like complicating. We like speaking very big English to talk about what is happening in Nigeria. But there's just one problem: lack of funds, poverty. That is what it is. Let us forget the long talk. It's not better that the road to someone's house at Obiago is bad, but he has money to buy food every day. He will come out with his slippers and walk on that bad road and go and buy that food.
Because people are kind of getting mentally damaged.
Exactly.
Because of poverty.
Exactly. So the fact that there's no money is a very big issue. It's the reason why some people's mentality is like that. Because when you have money, when you're financially comfortable, when you are financially secured, when you see ideas like this, you even get attracted to it. You want to be part of it. You want to have a stake in it.
It's innovative.
Because it's innovative. You know that, oh, okay, I can easily ask this guy, what can it cost to set this thing up? But when you do not have money, you start seeing things.
From the it's not going to work
It's not going to
perspective.
work. Okay, even if it does.
Because from your natural state, it's not going to work. So this is not even you being a low thinking person. From your natural state, it's actually impossible.
Exactly.
So I think, wow, I think this is why rich people try to avoid the poor, because the poor
You said it
exist in
all.
this natural state where things are not meant to work.
Yeah. Very negative. They are very negative people. Do you understand? But you don't blame them. But you have to avoid them, because to get them to deconstruct from that mindset is very difficult.
See, you remember T-Bag in Prison Break? That's what he called captivity of negativity.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I'm not sure that there is any antidote for it.
Use T-Bag, for example. You see how that guy looks very crazy, but he's a very smart guy. He talks very crazy, but he's a very smart guy. There's this line I'm trying to remember when he was talking to Michael. I think there's something he said. I can't remember. Use that guy, for example. You see now that guy now, he was a very, he was a thief, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was a very smart guy. He always said words that, in fact, he was like my best character in Prison Break, because he always said a lot of things that was very funny. But you listen to what he said, he was making sense. I remember one time there was this fight that was supposed to happen between the black guys in prison and the white guys. So I think the black guy was supposed to, he was talking to them at the other side. He was supposed to go and talk to his black guys to get them some money to pay some people. I'm trying to remember the scene because it's been long. I worked pretty big. He was like, it seems the bank of Negroes is unavailable for withdrawals. That guy is so funny. Like the bank of Negroes is unavailable for withdrawals. Just imagine that kind of statement. So use this guy for example. You see that he's definitely, if you know what Prison Break before, he's definitely not your ideal guy, but he was my best character because he knew how to play with words, but he was also very smart.
Knowing how to play with words
Mhm.
is peak smartness.
Exactly.
Because for you to become powerful,
Yes.
you need to learn how to play with words.
Yes.
Physically, if you look at Hitler, he doesn't look all that physically strong.
No.
But he knows how to play with words
And control.
and control. And it reminds me of Jesus, the Sermon on Mount Sinai. And his whole ministry, Jesus' ministry is all about, his teaching is all about the use of parable.
Yes.
That's an amazing way of using words. In Igbo, Jesus' use of parable is almost like the core Igbo language, because in Igbo language they say ilu, that is proverb.
Yeah, proverb.
But manu ndi Igbo je eri okwu.
Yes.
So a typical Igbo man know they straight if in they talk.
Yeah.
Now proverbs in they drop for you.
Yeah.
Now that's the Jesus system, the parable system. So I think some of the most powerful people we've ever witnessed on earth, their core power is that natural ability to play with words and be able to impact it.
Yes.
Because if you cannot impact the word, you cannot make sense. If you're not making sense, you're useless.
Yes, exactly.
Because everybody's just doing marketing. Everybody's trying to market something, either an ideology or a business or yourself. So your ability to be able to sell that product which you're living for, whichever it is called genius.
Yeah.
So somebody like T-Bag, I would honestly see his play of words as powerful as Schofield's architectural designs.
Yeah.
The same way Schofield, they use architectural lines and pencils to draw things. I think it's equivalent to T-Bag's use of words.
Yeah. And that made him very important in the entire series.
Extremely important. So as Schofield they plot. T-Bag, they always plot ahead of them.
Yeah.
So he was always intercepting their plot.
Exactly.
As brilliant as they are.
Yes, exactly.
Schofield has a perfect team. T-Bag is a lone wolf, but they always intercept their sport. So let us take a break.
Yeah.
Thank you.